All right, we're live. How about that? The Stars power play is alive. 3 Stars power play goals tonight, and they win by 3. How many different ways can I do 3? Oh, that's good enough. Stars with a win over the Bruins. They hadn't won in Boston in a while. They'd lost their last 4 in a row against the Bruins. Not tonight. Win number 6 on the season. 3 for 4 on the power play. Let's get the 3 for 5. Let's get the show started right now. How about that? The Dallas Stars post-game show on DLLS tonight is victorious. So they split the 2-game road trip, and this one will make you feel a lot better as they win 5-2 over the Boston Bruins, and their power play is a big contributor for probably the first time this year. Now, they've scored a couple power play goals before tonight, but this felt different. Alongside Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler, I'm Owen Newkirk. Unfortunately, I think we should all probably just give a quick moment of silence for our producer, John, Mr. Bruin himself, Anderson.
That's fine. Better team won.
Tough night tonight.
Oh, and I have one statement, and then we'll move on from me. This show's not about me.
The sky is falling. It should be about you.
Well, he is wearing a Bruins jersey and Bruins socks.
And a hat.
I can't say that he's wearing Bruins underwear because I haven't seen it, nor do I wish to. But here we are. All right, guys, let's get right to it. The Stars have been slow starters for the most part this season, and that was not entirely the case. I didn't think the Stars had a phenomenal start to the game, but they did have the game's first 3 high-danger chances, so this was better. Started with Thomas Harley wide open in the slot, and he hit the post as squarely as you can get. He hasn't scored a goal yet this year. He officially scored one. It was a massive deflection, but not one where, he ripped it past the goalie. He had Swayman beat on that one, though.
Well, he hasn't scored a goal, as you say, except the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But not for a lack of trying. I mean, he's been pushing the pace, getting up ice, and I've said at times I need him to be more of a defenseman that stays and runs the plays and takes care of things in the neutral zone and in his own zone. A couple outnumbered rushes this year that maybe he could have played differently, but I like everybody else. I mean, this is a good example of how this team can come together, and hopefully this is just the first step in moving into that direction.
Sam, it felt like this was more of a Dallas Stars game. They had 3 good chances early. The Harley one, Hintz had a rebound right at the top of the crease. Swayman made a very good save. And then Oscar Beck shot over the net on a shorthanded 2-on-1 on the game's first power play, which belonged to the Bruins. Special teams a big factor. I thought Beck looked good tonight, coming back in the lineup for Maverick Bourque. And it's going to be hard for the coaching staff to not go with the same lineup on Saturday against Chicago, even though you want to get Bourque in the lineup.
Yeah, it was a really good start. Right away, they looked ready. And what we talked about on the pregame show and leading up to this game, that they were going to be tested. If they weren't ready, intensity, urgency, all the things we talked about, they were going to be tested by this Boston team, and they were ready. They pushed the pace, bunch of turnovers from Boston early on. As you mentioned, the chances on goal, especially shorthanded. They dominated the Bruins power play on their penalty kill. Just a really good start, and they kept that pace throughout most of the game. But you're right. I like Oscar Beck a lot. I thought he was going to get his first tonight. He did not, but he looked very, very good and definitely earned some more playing time.
Don't forget, if you're watching right now, get into the chat. Start sending us your questions or comments. Of course, you could super chat to get to the front of the line. And heck, I'll tell you what, Luddy enjoyed this game almost as much as he loves pasteurized cheese, watching all those power play goals go in. And we'll talk a little bit more about why he was that clairvoyant a little bit later in our show tonight. But the game's opening goal actually came against the Dallas Stars. They did not score the Bruins on that power play. Charlie Coyle did have a really good one-timer from the left dot. Casey DeSmith made a good save. Stars had a power play, did not score, had a couple of chances, But then there was some 4-on-4 play as Jamie Benn took a penalty on the power play, then mouthed off to the referee is what we can only imagine, got an extra 2. But it didn't even get to the power play. 4-on-4, David Pastrnak would make it 1-0 on a really nice play by Patois after a giveaway that Patois basically started it. Close enough?
He likes saying
Patra.
Patra.
P-O-T-R-A.
I want to do more French.
You sounds like it.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I always have issues with goals on the Stars. On
Of
your
course you
team,
do.
I always do.
You have a high standard.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 4-on-4. Dumba goes back. I think if he'd gave him a little shimmy shake there, he just didn't even give him a shake and went with the puck behind the net. I think if Matt would have gotten the puck, kind of turned to his left a little bit, and maybe the Patois would have followed him a little bit more, and then that reverse that he tried going to the other side to Harley might have gotten through. But the problem that I had with it was when you look at that from over top, there's no other Dallas Stars in the zone.
Yeah.
As Marchment was coming back into the zone, Dumba's picking up the puck around the goal line. Marchment's starting to kind of pull out of the zone, get up on the wall. He's up by the blue line. And then you see it on a replay. Matt Duchene is changing at center ice. It looks like there was somebody on the bench, and I only got one little glimpse at it, but it looked like he was changing. So ultimately, both defensemen are behind the goal line. Little turnover, and Pastrnak, for the dollar amount he makes, he buries it.
His 5th of the year from Patois, and 11:57 into the first period, the Bruins have the lead. But they still had power play time to go, and the Stars gave them more trouble. Wyatt Johnston had a breakaway shorthanded. Rope Hintz had a rush down the left circle. Swayman with 2 good saves. But you get back to 5-on-5, and guess what? Matt Duchene, I would say 4:23 after the Bruins goal, so under 5 minutes later, ties it with his, at the time, team leading. He would still be team leading, but wouldn't be by himself later in the game. 4th goal of the season from Seguin and Harley. And this was a 4-abreast entry. The Stars got numbers up on the offensive blue line, moved it around, and it was a slashing move by Duchene to get Swayman moving.
Yeah, we just talked about Harley a second ago. He makes a great play on that, leads the rush, and then the key there is what Dallas preaches and what it looks. I mean, that's a great clip of, if you're saying what does Pete DeBoer want this team to look like, that's the perfect clip. Harley pushes the defense back once he gets jumped at the blue line, leaves the puck, and just charges the net. Takes 2 defensemen with him, causes a heck of a lot of chaos around Swayman. Swayman actually looks like he maybe even bumps into him a little bit, and gives Duchene, once Duchene gets the puck, we mentioned it when we were watching, gives him time to not just take that shot right away, but take that extra second, open the angle, get Swayman down, and roof it. I think it was just a perfect example of what Pete DeBoer wants it to look like when it looks right. And sometimes, Leds, it doesn't look right, but that time it worked.
Yeah, and it was a defenseman that was doing that, which is, like we talked about, Thomas getting up in the play. But I think that might have been a topic of conversation in the last 24 hours or so for the Stars as a group, because I thought there was more chaos going on around in front of Swayman, where he had to look around things. Guys were driving the net, and they were staying at the net. They weren't flybys. I just found that when things were at the net and a puck would go into the corner, there was still somebody staying in front of the net while somebody else retrieved it.
I think this was a big deal for a couple of reasons. One, the Stars have not been a big first period team this year. And, they got better last year at it. But the second period, they are really good with their transition game typically. They were tonight, but it helped because of some power play time. So at the end of the first period, it's 1-1. Stars had the same number of shots on goal as the Bruins did, but a slight edge in scoring chances, and the high danger chances benefited the Stars. So I thought they created the better looks. They had more of them. It was a really good first period. Then we go to the second period, and they start out with a breakaway, Hintz on the backhand, stopped by Swayman. Then they draw a penalty because of it. They go on the power play, and for a unit that did not play very well for much of the early part of the season, they woke up tonight. Big goal, Jason Robertson, mid-slot from Hintz. Robertson playing in his 300th NHL game, Hintz in his 400th, and they would both get on the score sheet a couple of times tonight.
Well, I think there was a common theme for me on the power play, and it was the entries, and it was the second effort and having numbers around the puck when they were in the offensive zone, and the passing was tape to tape. And on that goal, when Miro started with it on the wall and it went to Wyatt and went back, went down to the goal line, out to Robo, I had it timed at 7 seconds. And I mean, four clean passes, tape to tape, and a goal.
I feel like that's more of what Dallas Stars hockey is that moving the puck quickly and cleanly, because they're fast, but when you play fast, meaning play the puck fast,
yeah,
you look quicker than you actually are.
Well, what they were doing, like what they have been doing up until now, is they were skating the puck to areas.
Yeah.
Here, the difference is they're moving it. They get it. They see someone open. They move it. Where it was almost like they got the puck. They stood around a little bit, waited for something else to open up. But now they were creating the cracks by quick puck movement. And when you have penalty killers that want to be aggressive at times, they're getting someplace and the puck is moving. I thought that's what they did well tonight.
It was a huge deal to get a goal 31 seconds into the second period. They take the lead for the first time, and then another penalty. So Pasternak took the hooking minor at 11 seconds of the second period. Then Parker Wotherspoon picked up an interference minor at 3:53. Remember, Boston has been dinged with more minor penalties than any other team in the NHL so far this year, and they make him pay again. This time it's Logan Stankoven, his first of the year, from Duchesne and Marchment at 4:57. Sam, they tinkered with different line combinations on the power play units. They went back to what they wanted to start with, and it looked much better tonight.
Yeah, both units scored, right? So it worked out well. I think that it's interesting with the power play because part of me wants to just say simplify, like we've talked about. Let's throw some big bodies in there, get them in front of the net, make it simple. But then you look at some of the plays they make, and when they do make them, it's like, all right, now I see why they want to make them so bad. So I think the key is going to be finding the balance. When do we make it simple? When do we just throw the puck to the net with bodies and try to get rebounds? When do we look for those opportunities? And maybe you get a goal on the first one, and all of a sudden you have a little mojo, and that is when you do it. I don't really know the answer, but I think that the Stars have the ability to do both, which I think is really exciting.
Well, I thought they actually started with the bodies at the net, even 5-on-5 when they were throwing. I think that was part of what the message was. But when I mentioned it was 7 seconds on that first passing play, on that first power play goal, this one started with Duchesne and Stankoven at about the tops of the circles in their own zone. That was 7 seconds from the time that they picked it up and they played tic-tac-toe through the neutral zone up to the half wall, and then Duchesne with a nice pass, So, again, 7 seconds, and all these passes and entering the zone with the puck control. They never missed a pass, and the Bruins didn't know what to do. I mean, every time they look at where they think it was moving. So it was quick puck movement tonight.
Quick puck movement, clean passes, and winning puck battles. That made all the difference on the power play tonight.
I told you guys going into tonight, as Letty was giving us a hot take that we're going to share later to show just how clairvoyant he really was. The Bruins were at just 72% on the penalty kill the last 4 games. 5 power play goals against in 18 times shorthanded. Well, they are now up to 8 at 23. That's going to be worse because they have really been tattooed in this game. And it was another power play goal for the Stars. They're third in a row, and they have 3 goals in under 9 minutes. 8:59 time of the goal from Tyler Seguin. His 4th. So Duchesne scored his 4th. Robertson scored his 4th. Now Seguin from Marchment and Duchesne. By the way, Matt Duchesne piled up a 3-point night at 8:59. Stars 3 for 4 at this point on the power play. And this comes after Rope Hintz somehow dangled through about 3 guys and hit the crossbar to start the power play. I mean, this is breaking open the floodgates here.
Yeah, and again, it started the same way. It started with the same 2 guys coming up through the middle of the ice on the entry, and guess what? It was 7 seconds from when they started passing the puck till it went in the net. 7 seconds, and again, it's just crisp passing, tape to tape.
I would love that Tyler Seguin is scoring goals. I think he has earned and worked to get this scoring touch back, and after his injuries, and now he looks like a totally different player the last few years, and especially the start of this year, he just looks very confident with the puck.
Did he look better tonight than he did in Buffalo?
Well, I think Tyler, every time he goes back to Boston, he's probably got a little bit more jump. There's a little more there. I mean, like I said earlier, you win a championship there, and I'm sure he still has lots of friends there and things like that. So, yeah, and I think a lot of guys looked a lot better. I mean, this is kind of what we've been talking about at the start of a season. The sky's not falling and all this other kind of stuff. So
the sky is falling!
Boston. I got to keep remembering these little. I know. As soon as I said sky, I should.
You knew it. Yep.
But I think it's about rhythm, and I think they're getting into their rhythm right now. But now they got to put back to back. And you had said you probably don't expect any lineup changes, right, for the next game.
I wonder.
I think there'll be one
goalie.
Yeah.
Well, but
don't you?
But skaters. Oh, of course.
Maybe.
Okay.
Just want to.
It's a maybe.
When I meant,
I just didn't want anybody to tweet.
I appreciate. Well, yeah. We get a lot of
Twitter
haters.
you or X you.
But you're right. I agree. Yeah, I think it'll be Otter on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there'll be any changes on the skating line.
I don't think there should be,
especially after this game, and especially after the coaches put them through the rigor of a very high-tempo practice in a day between 2 games on the road.
Those are some things that players go, we just prove them right again. We used to call them bag
I was going to
skates.
say, right?
They get the pace up, and you're like, man, we played all these games, and all of a sudden they push the pace, and they push the pace, and we're like, dude, we got a game tomorrow night, and then they come out and do something like this, and so you prove coaches right all the time.
Coaches pat themselves on the back and say, yep, that was the right one to push.
Day off tomorrow.
Well, we thought they needed a little tough love too, so maybe that was their way of giving them the tough love.
Stars unfortunately took a penalty, though, as Sam Steele was called for hooking only 15 seconds after Seguin's power play goal. And boy, did they have some chances. The Bruins, first it was Brad Marchand on a backhander at the side of the right post, hit the crossbar. Pasternak got the rebound at the other side. Seguin got a block on that. And then Lindholm got another rebound in this 3-shot sequence. 3 high-danger chances. DeSmith stopped this one. But on the next unit, they scored. Justin Brazeau's first of the year from Frederick and Geeky at 10:41. So the Stars' penalty kill streak would come to an end. But boy, has that been really, really good. That made it 4-2 halfway through the hockey game. I thought the Stars did a nice job. We'll talk about the third period in a minute, but a nice job of just clamping down after giving up that goal. They gave away some chances early in the third, but I didn't think that they got, the second half of the middle frame, they weren't giving up high danger chances to the Bruins. It felt like the Bruins, even after they scored that goal, were still kind of stunned.
I would say they were a confident group of guys tonight, and they believed in what they were doing, and as long as they kept their foot on the gas, that they weren't going to continue to give outnumbered rushes and again, you're up by a couple, you want to push it, let's get up by 3, and I think that was the mentality that they take. I think that's the way Dallas wants to play the game too. We're up by a couple, let's get up by 1 more.
DLLS has a new introductory offer for new diehard signups. Go to alldlls.com and join the diehard program for just $4 a month. Coming up next on the Dallas Stars post-game show here on DLLS, we will talk about what happened in the third period as the Stars carried a 2-goal lead through 40 minutes into the intermission, right here on the DLLS Dallas Stars post-game show.
First, let's talk about Empire Today, my favorite. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. They are your one-stop flooring shop. They want to provide the best and most efficient service. Not always the most affordable, but you're guaranteed to have the best experience working with Empire. Empire Today, their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. They want to make it easy for you, which is nice for people that aren't so smart when it comes to decorating their homes like me. Their virtual floor designer is a great way to see what the new floors will look like in any space. All you got to do is snap a picture, instantly see what that floor will look like in any room in your house, office, wherever you want to put it, like we have in our lounge. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. That's promo code DLLS at empiretoday.com/DLLS for details.
Let's talk about Shady Rays. You can get ready for the season ahead, whether it feels like fall or not. And it was a little bit warmer. Still nice. It's not summer weather in Dallas anymore. But you need quality shades built to last. And our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. It's a independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor activities. Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair. Return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk for you to shop, and the team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, we go to the third period now, and the Stars have a 2-goal lead. I didn't watch the Bruins line combinations closely. I know that Jim Montgomery, like many NHL coaches today, like to throw them in the blender if they don't feel they're going well. Luddy, we talked about in the pregame that he was breaking up that fourth line of Beecher, Kastelik, and Koepke, which had been really good for them, trying to spread the wealth a bit. I didn't look closely to see if they reunited them, but I wonder if they look back at this and go, maybe that didn't help them because it didn't feel at 5-on-5 that Boston was really creating a ton of problems for the Stars defensively.
Yeah, and I think that when that's happening, and as a coach, and you're trying to make a couple adjustments, you're not necessarily trying to put three guys together. You're trying to get somebody that can complement, the other two that seem to be working well. And you maybe, and again, it's like taking maybe a Blackwell and throwing him up on one of the top two lines, a guy that can get in and dig around a little bit more and create some more havoc in front of the net. Otherwise, he leaned on their top line, Marchand and Pasta. I mean, why not? So. Otherwise, I think Monty's on that bench just looking up and down. And, you're sitting there you're looking at the backs of jerseys going, who can I put out there right now that's going to provide a little spark?
Yeah, he even took a timeout. I think it was in the second period.
I think it was after the third power play goal.
Or
was it after the second? Maybe?
I can't remember exactly when it was, but took a timeout to kind of ream his guys, and he tried everything to get them going tonight. And I'm not positive, but I think he might be doing that often. Season.
Oh, I do too. But he's got to be careful too. You can't. One thing in the position he's in, contract wise and little chatter around the club about his security and all this kind of stuff, is you can't lose your players. And especially your leaders, you can't lose them. So, and I don't think he will. I think when Monty gets behind doors, I think he's pretty good with most of the guys as far as conversations go.
Well, the Bruins did come out with some juice in the third period. They had a great chance for Morgan Geekie, a little turnaround wrister from the low slot. Casey DeSmith was equal to it. The Stars got a power play. Charlie Coyle had a good wrist shot, shorthanded on the rush. Stankoven put one off the top of the crossbar on a one-timer in the slot. He got into a good scoring position again. That power play wasn't as good. That was the only chance I tracked in that one, but still 3 for 5 is nothing to sneeze about.
Only 3, come on.
And then again, Brazo went to the net, top of the crease, had a great chance to score on a stuff shot. DeSmith with a save there, and then he stopped Patra on a chance from the right circle where he had open space. How about Casey DeSmith? We spent all this time talking about Jake Ottinger being dynamic, and boy, has he been great. DeSmith is quietly put together. Let's see, how many starts has he had now? This will be start number 3.
Yeah.
He's 2-1.
He was identical save percentage to Jake as well before this game.
But if you think about any of the goals that he's given up, right? The ones on the loss in Washington, he faced a wall of humanity in front of him on two goals 2 and 3 especially. I don't have any that I look back on DeSmith so far this year and go, ooh, I don't like that one from the goalie perspective.
No, the only one was kind of a interesting one was that second Boston goal. He just didn't recognize that puck came out in front. I think he thought it was being jammed
Frederick
on the pad.
Went for a wraparound and kind of whiffed.
Yeah, so it wasn't his fault. That was the only one.
Think that's on the goalie?
No, I don't.
No.
I think it's on Jamie, and I love Jamie. And shorthanded, they were 3-on-3 down in the corner, and when you're killing a penalty, you need to be on the outside of the players, not on the wall side. And Jamie got on the wall side, so he was kind of on the outside looking in. He wants to be interior, and that's how Brazo gets free. And I think it was a wraparound, and it probably went between, his glove, his stick, and his body and his feet and everything, and Brazo was right there in case he didn't have a chance to get across. But I will say this, putting him in the net, I said this morning, there was I don't know if this was on the schedule, the way that they were going to deploy their goalies, but I thought, you're looking for a little of this, and when you put in your backup guy and things like that, you play a little bit differently in front of them. So I think as a group they did that, but he had to make some good saves too.
In the third period, Boston did outchance Dallas 9-6, and they had 3 of the 4 high danger chances. The last one belonged to the Stars. Rope Hintz scored an empty net goal at the 17:58 mark because the Bruins pulled Swayman with about 4 minutes to go. They're down 2 goals. They had to. Hintz scores his 4th, and that's the theme of the night. 4 Dallas Stars entered today, tied for the team leading goals with 3. And then 4 Dallas Stars finished the game, tied for the team lead with 4. Hintz gets the goal, Seguin gets the assist, and it was just a really epitomized Dallas Stars kind of game because they spread the offense around. They used special teams a bit, which is a thing. They got good goaltending. They killed a lot of penalties. But again, it's not one guy or one line that does all the damage. It is balanced, and that makes why they're so difficult from a matchup, home or road, because you can't clue in on just one group.
If I were Pete DeBoer and I walk in that room after the game, I would ask everybody to be quiet, because they're going to feel good about the game and everything else. And I would say, that's us. And I'd walk out of the room.
And that's it.
Simply enough. That's who we are right there. and that's who they are.
Yeah, I think something for agreed 100%. I think that was a perfect example of what they want. But something that I think we need to get used to in media, fans, just anyone in general around this team, the depth of this team makes other players less noticeable, right? Like, because they don't need to rely on Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, the other guy that used to play on that line.
Yep.
Just because they don't have to rely so heavily on those players,
or
or
you
just
mean
one,
Pavelski? I thought you were talking about the other guy.
or just one line. It makes it kind of look like
he had his finger on the button.
Yeah, I saw. We got to give him something tonight. You don't know
because the sky is falling.
Yeah, but you don't see him as much, right? So even for me, like the other day, I looked and I said, you know what? I think Rope Hintz should be better. I don't think he's been. And you look, and he's leading the team in goals, and he's tied for points. So I think that's something that just we have to realize that if the Stars do what they want to do and roll 4 lines, roll 3 pairs, everyone's jumping in on the action, it's going to make the players that we're so used to relying heavily on look less noticeable, less dominant. That's okay.
If it follows last year's trend, nobody for the Dallas Stars is going to be in the top of any statistical categories except for maybe Jake.
But you'll have 8 20-goal scorers.
But you might have, like they did last year, the most balanced attack as far as most forwards with 20-plus goals, or they might have the most guys with 50-plus points, whatever. And that, honestly, last year's motto was a little bit less for a lot more. Give a little bit less individually for a better team goal. They'll take that every day.
Yeah.
If this is the game that you want to play, they have to roll through the 4 lines. Yep. I mean, you look at the minutes tonight, the Hintz line, they were up around 18 minutes, and then everybody else was between that. Your 4th line was around 11, 12 minutes.
But nobody played single digits either.
That's what I mean. That's balance. And for defensemen, the same guy played 24 minutes, and then everybody else was between 12 and 20. So, I mean, that's what you want to play, this kind of game under these kind of conditions. And I mean, schedule, traveling, and every other night and all this other stuff. You've got to, and with that kind of tempo, you have to manage the minutes of your players.
And by the way, Miro only played 24 minutes tonight, so that's much more reasonable.
Better.
But I was just skimming the Boston side, and they do a pretty similar thing as far as their usage. Everybody's above 10, 11 minutes. Everybody's below 20 from the forwards perspective. A couple of D-men like McAvoy. Actually, I think he's the only one that played over 20. Their roster is similar in how they have to use it, but I don't think their balanced attack has enough skill compared to the Stars by a long shot.
It's not even close. I mean, we talked about it earlier. They have that one line, and after that, their depth starts to drop off. We're Dallas here.
We're going to see him again, Luds. But if you're a Boston Bruins fan, or you're their front office, Don Sweeney, etc., are they already recognizing that trade deadline, if they're in the hunt, which we would expect them to, they're looking for top 6 help?
They need to upgrade. Yeah, I mean, again, they can't play with teams like. I mean, they're not going to get out of their conference. I mean, first off, I mean,
you got Toronto,
New Jersey, Toronto,
Florida.
And don't ever count Florida, Tampa.
I mean, their division.
The Rangers. I mean, you're not. They're not. I mean, again, they gave somebody $66 million. Maybe that's
carry
what it
them.
Is. Maybe that's what it is.
I think,
but I think they know that. Playing that game tonight, management sitting upstairs in Boston, we have to upgrade it if we're going to compete with this kind of team. And this isn't the only kind of team that they're going to see. Jersey's going to come in, play that similar way, Florida, like you said. So I don't think that was a secret to them, anyways.
So the Stars finished the night with 32 shots on goal, 27 shots against. They had 32 quality chances. Now, they line up that number, but doesn't mean that every time they took a shot, it was a quality chance. They also have stuff that was missed, blocked, etc. But really good. They outchanced, by my count, Boston at 5-on-5. They outchanced their opponent on the power play, which they haven't been doing. They even had 4 quality looks shorthanded that looked really dangerous. That way, even though they didn't score a shorthanded goal. But most importantly, fellas, 3 for 5 on the power play. We've talked a lot about it, but before we start getting into the chat, by the way, we're getting into your chat and super chat questions next. What's your biggest takeaway of the Stars power play?
To me, it's speed and their passing. I said, man, they got to get guys to the net, and I know that's what I like to see, but that's not how they do that. They go about it a different way. Tonight, they were connected. I mean, player to player, as far as their gaps in between each other, they come up through the neutral zone all the way that they want to come up. Nobody's lagging behind. They're able to tic-tac-toe there. They get in with control, and then it's boom, boom, boom. They attack, and they don't get the puck on the perimeter. Let the penalty kill set up. They had them off balance as soon as those two guys, Stankoven and Duchesne, pick it up at the top circles on the other end. They're going like, oh no, here they come again, and they slice and dice their way right into the offensive zone.
Yeah, passing and work ethic, right? We talked about outwork the penalty kill is the key to so much success in the power play. If you look at Jason Robertson's power play goal, is a perfect example of that. He kind of gets into a weird little battle off of I believe it was Wyatt Johnston that kind of won that face-off over to the boards. He kind of gets in a little battle. He kicks it back to the point. He actually takes a glove to the face and goes down on the ice for a second, gets back up, and ends up getting that pass from Benn and scoring. So that's a perfect example of the work ethic they had. And if you saw how many times, Les, did we hit each other and say, see that?
Yeah.
3 guys on the boards.
Yeah.
See that? 2-on-1. And a little bump, and they have the possession.
The numbers were in their
after
favor.
all that bumping.
Yeah.
No, just a little.
I was actually this way.
He's got a chance to get back to me tomorrow afternoon if he'd like.
Oh, you think you will?
I don't know. He told me he'd let me know, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm thinking no.
I'm thinking doubtful.
He could be doubtful.
Questionable
Doubtful.
at least. Coming up next, we will take your chats. If you want to get to the head of the line, go to the Super Chat feature and throw us a little something to get to the front of the line. If not, chats are up next here on the DLLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
Blue Chew. Does Blue Chew work? If you're asking that question, we want you to know Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is and giving you a month free so you can find out for yourself. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in chewable form. The process is simple. All you got to do is sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And we've got a special deal for the listeners of this show. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code ALLCITY at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code ALLCITY to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast.
That's it. Bluechew.com.
You got it.
There it is. It's
You
right
got
there.
it.
Let's talk about game time. Everybody that is a DLS fan, let alone a DLS diehard, is a sports enthusiast. And if those are the case, they probably, like me, like to go to live sporting events or other things. Music, theater, comedy. Why not? Get out, explore life, get some memories. Well, you can do that with Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. And you need to use Game Time Picks to filter out the fluff. So you only get incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You get the best deals. Then use the feature to see the seat view. I can't stress how great that is, especially if it's a venue you haven't been to before or not very often. You get to know exactly what it looks like from your seat before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Sam, what time is it?
Game time.
All right. Now it's Super Chat. Well, chat time. If you want to get to the front of the line, you certainly can. And should we go full disclosure on our first Super Chat? I think we should.
I don't know which one. There's multiple that require full disclosure, so I don't know which one you're
All
referring
right, let's
to.
start with Spaghettis.
We'll do spaghettis.
Was the I believe the first time Super Chat. Is that
Yep.
not?
Oh, you believe?
I believe it's if
You're not sure?
I mean, if I'm reading this and it says it, it's got to be true, right?
Okay.
So the Stars win 5-2 over the Boston Bruins, and Spaghettis writes in $9.99. So that's Madonna 99. Could call that Gretzky, or could be Madonna and Cup here. Some unpasteurized cheddar for a big Stars win. That, gentlemen,
Might be
is a beer league bet payoff.
I was going to
Because
say,
of what I
sense
said at the
something
beginning.
going on here.
So, quick short story. One of our beer league teammates, we had a game on Tuesday night. The Pigeons played up in Frisco after the Buffalo Sabres game.
Remember when he wore that pigeon to the ring to the podcast?
Same team.
That's awful.
So
That could be our most embarrassing show, for sure.
you loved it. By the way, the guy I gave it to at the next game
And we've had some
send a
embarrassing
group text of the pigeon dangling from his rearview mirror on his car.
Oh,
So
okay.
a little
I
hood
like
ornament
that.
kind
I
of
like that.
So anyway, we had a funny conversation about the pasteurization process after our win on Tuesday night. It was about midnight. It was the late game. It was supposed to start at 10:45. Got pushed back. The game before had some, fisticuffs or something was going on. So it was a little late. So
Fuffle.
my boy Sabetti, a.k.a. Spaghettis, dared me to say pasteurized cheese on the show. I said, oh, that's easy. What are you going to do? He says, super chat. So I just said, well, Luds is from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
he knows everything there is about pasteurized cheese.
Do you, though?
I don't know.
Give me a fact about pasteurized cheese.
3.5 minutes. We're never going to get back. Right there.
That wasn't 3.5
I don't.
minutes.
I don't know anything about. I mean, we eat cheese curds. I mean, but I don't know anything about pasteurized stuff. I mean,
What does
our cows are
pasteurized
all
mean?
Pastured.
It's actually named from the scientist Louis Pasteur, who created a process to get the bacteria out of your milk,
Oh,
which is a really good thing because you don't want to die.
thank
from
you,
that stuff.
Louis.
I can't tell if you completely just made that up or not.
It's hard to tell, but it sounded real.
You delivered it like it's true.
Call my bluff.
Do you drink milk
Yes.
today?
Yeah.
Because we used to just rip milk at dinner back in the day, like big old thing of skim milk on the table.
I do a gallon every day and a half.
I don't
Really?
know.
I drink with everything.
I don't
Really?
know if
Yeah.
I
So
actually.
you
had
don't
milk
eat, but you drink
today.
milk.
But yes,
Plugs, every day.
I drink skim milk a lot.
Love
It's
you more.
It's like go-to dinner at home,
All
but
right,
not out
good to
here.
know, good to know.
Here, not so much. But on cereal, forget it.
Yeah,
Okay.
cereal, of course.
Anyway, all right. So thank you guys. We appreciate that. Our next super chat belongs to.
We'll do this one first. Get this one out of the way.
You
I
didn't
guess.
do the sounder though, John.
Well, the sounders for when it comes in, but if we're holding the super chats, am I supposed to just be hitting
Do
bing
it.
bong? Right?
I mean, you
Bing
have it. You
bong.
might as well use
Bing
it.
bong.
Was that the super chat?
Bing bong.
$1.99.
Bing bong.
Okay, now you're
Bing
just
bong.
overusing it. So we have DeSmith and 99's Cup team. Ben writes, "Hey, producer John, pronounce this. Stars win."
I mean, he could have left the R and I would have pronounced it the same way, but yeah, Stars win.
By the
They
way,
were the better team tonight.
It was the better team
better.
tonight.
Duchesne
I
had
would-
a wicked wrist in the first.
No prizes for you at the end of the night, is there?
Yeah, well, in 2 weeks, Monty might not be the coach of the Bruins next time these two teams play, so we'll check in
well,
then.
Sean did call him a lame duck coach, which
Yeah, you guys are really ripping on him.
they
Like
were.
it's-
It was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more tragic losses can they take?
And wouldn't this be tragic if he didn't make it to the next game? I mean, being
Yeah.
that he was relieved from his duties.
Didn't you have the next
In
few games?
Dallas.
when he was a Dallas?
Yep.
Didn't you
star,
mention
and
pregame,
then
Owen, that
because
the
of
next few
Dallas
games
star.
are like Toronto is one of them. Like they don't have an easy schedule coming up either.
I actually didn't mention that. I think that's just your hate world
Oh.
that you're living in right now.
well, I mean, I'm hoping
hate
it's Toronto.
spiral, sorry.
Toronto would save Monty's job. That would come just in
Toronto, Philly, Carolina, Philly. Are the next four.
time. Okay, so that's 2 and
Yeah,
2.
two Philly in there. I don't know. They're
Two
not that
against
much
the
better than
Flyers.
Philly
Wow,
now.
How about that? So, by the way, I just like in reference to Ben's super chat, I'd like to give credit to our producer John. If you haven't seen it
Oh,
yet,
thank you.
it is brilliant. He put together a really funny bit that he went out on. I think it was all our social platforms. So the DLS Sports main Twitter account. John, was it on TikTok as well?
Yeah, it went on everything.
So he had Luds, Sam, and a bunch of the other DLS hosts try to say and pronounce some of the city names or town names, in some cases, in Massachusetts that are not pronounced as they're spelled.
I was like 8 for 8, wasn't I?
Yeah,
And it was
wrong.
eight wrong. And it
I
was
got
really
Situate.
funny, especially for a New Englander like myself. So if you haven't seen it, go to the at DLS Sports Twitter account, go to the DLS TikTok. And by the way, John, we hear him over here a lot, but he's got a bit of a baritone in the voice, right? When he relaxes a little bit, he's got a bit of that, announcer sound to him. So,
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
This guy.
Oh yeah, he does for
Yeah.
sure.
So I thought it sounded good.
Yeah.
And he-
Well, that's
and-
what everyone says. Then you come into a place like this and like Chat has confirmed that KG's voice is not being picked up on our mics
Good.
right now. But
We
then you
can
walk
hear
in,
it.
I walk into a place and I meet someone like Kevin Gray and my voice is just put to shame immediately. So
He
I think
has-
everybody
see,
is put
you
to
have,
shame.
you have some nice baritone. He has volume power,
yeah,
just sheer force.
it would be a great bit if they sent Kevin out to like a canyon and they put the mic at the
Not
other
right.
end and they had him like make bets or
just echo.
something. We have another super chat.
All right,
going,
another
so-
super chat.
Bing bong.
See how nice that is?
I love it.
Ardell. So that's a Ludwig 3, or it could be
Dumba.
Dumba and Sagan. Dumba Sagan.
I don't think it's Dumba after tonight.
Oh,
Well, he did have the turnover.
Hit him with the.
Ardell writes, Sagan, Duchesne, and Marchment are good at hockey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fact. I think they're the best line on this team.
When I asked you about Seguin earlier, what I was kind of alluding to, you're right. He is motivated to play well in Boston, and he usually does. Remember, the last time they won in Boston was 2018, and Seguin scored the overtime winner against what goalie?
Tim Thomas.
Anton Hudobin.
That was a good guess.
No, it was 2018. Tim Thomas
was that when he did the little
2011.
delay?
one that came
Yeah,
across.
that was sick.
And by the way, Sean and I were talking about it earlier today because he called about some stuff, and we're looking at that. And there were some great names in the Stars lineup. Kari Lettinen was the starting goalie. Ben Bishop was the backup. Brett Ritchie, Jamel Smith were in the game for the Stars. Just a whole different. It's turned over a lot. So, but my point is that I thought Seguin looked better tonight than on Tuesday in Buffalo because it's the second game back from being out for a couple with an injury. And it just, maybe I'm overlooking it a little or looking in too close, but it just looked like he was a little more in the game.
Yeah, for the reasons you just said. I mean, he came back from an injury out for what did he miss? 3 games?
3 games.
Just 3 games and some time. And, so, and it's not like you're 24 again. You know what I mean? You don't come back as quick from injuries and jump right back into it. So, I think he's just excited. Part of that is excitement of 2 guys he's playing with. I think he's pumped.
Why wouldn't
to
you
go to
be?
the rink every day?
You get
Hey,
the puck on
John,
your stick in scoring
Let's
areas.
go to your namesake early in the
guess we're done
chat who
talking
talked about
it, 'cause he wants to
Wisconsin.
move on.
You know why I'm going on? Because this is straight up your alley. If you have that, Jed, it's
I don't
Mr.
know what you're referring to.
I'll
John
determine
Nazier,
that.
Naizer. He put a chat in. It was right by the super chat.
Okay.
No, not that one. He writes, just got back from a couple of days in Madison, Wisconsin. Drank lots of beer and ate like 5 pounds of cheese curds.
There you go.
Is that the recipe?
Yeah. And cheese curds, deep fried, it's nice because they seem like they're fresh up there. I mean, like made as soon as you walk in the door. And most people call them squeaky cheese. When it's squeaky cheese, it's fresh. It might be pasteurized or whatever that all means.
You should be pasteurized because
well,
that's
that
healthy
is.
for
Are you the kind of guy that gets cheese whiz on your cheesesteak?
I like cheese. No, no.
You know that's how they eat, like the general one that you get. If you don't say I want regular cheese, they give you cheese whiz on your cheesesteak in Philly.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
I'm just teaching you guys all kinds of things.
And there is another Wisconsin-related
Okay,
chat.
put it up because I haven't seen it yet.
Last name here
Matt
sticks out.
DeSmith. Little known fact, DeSmith is a cheesehead born in Green Bay, not New Hampshire. Do you think he might be related to a certain goalie tonight?
I don't know.
I'm going to venture a guess that would be possible.
Okay.
But
I'll take your word for it.
Casey DeSmith
Tell
is
us.
a Green Bay Packers fan.
Well, you should be.
Yes.
See, you're just everybody's Wisconsin to you tonight.
Yeah, well,
Everybody is
Stars
from
win.
Wisconsin.
Why
People in a
not?
good mood.
And
it's
it
90 degrees here. It's 47 degrees there.
It was also confirmed that it was Ludwig and Seguin, not Dubba and Seguin.
Oh, really?
On the super chat.
Oh, he did?
Nice.
Yes.
Casey
See?
DeSmith's Wikipedia page is a bit sparse, but like
Sparse.
a bit sparse, but it does say he's born in New Hampshire. I don't know where this info is coming from.
I mean, anybody can put
Maybe
anything
grew
on
up in-
It feels
Wikipedia,
like it's
so you
coming
know
from
you're
inside
getting the best
house
information.
if
By
Matt's
the
last
way,
name is
we're
DeSmith.
going to have to listen to this after the show tonight and maybe get it for because we don't have a show tomorrow. We're off for the pregame show against the Blackhawks because Cam writes in the chat, Seguin was hilarious in the postgame interview.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward.
I know he called out
you have
Brian Ray's something
the
about
hot
Brian
tamale.
Ray's tweet or something
That
like
happened
that.
in the opener at home when they did the victory green carpet walk. That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right, there it is right there. Cam was very happy with Seguin, so we'll have to get into that. Bruins should have never scratched Seguin for missing team breakfast. Steady rhythm. There was an interesting tweet. I think it would take a week for us to unpack this, but from the Stars account about what would be different if the Bruins hadn't made that trade. And so Sean jumped in and was like, there's so many layers to that, right? Think about what happened with Rich Peverly in Dallas. Think about what happened with where Riley Smith ended up going from there to Florida, part of the Vegas trade, made all over the place, let alone say there's such a big, we call it like a butterfly effect, right? That the ripples, I mean, I don't even know if it's really possible to do a proper hypothetical and say, well, if Seguin didn't, I mean, it's Tyler Seguin we were talking about this the other day. He's such a big part of the Dallas Stars. I think it was after the Hall of Fame thing is that, he's excited to play Boston, but he probably thinks of himself as a Dallas Star more than a Bruin.
Well,
except for the Stanley Cup.
Right. and he was only there for a short period of time.
I
right?
love the way. By the way, I love the way you scowled at me because you had no idea where I was going with it. You're just waiting to figure it out.
I
And
generally have
And then
no
something clicked, and you went, "Oh, I have something I can add to that."
Well, I was getting bored of the whole thing, to be totally
Bing
honest with you,
bong.
but I was going to throw something in. He's gotten integrated into the off-ice stuff here.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a lot of stuff for charity in the community, and so credit to Tyler. He's weaved himself into the fans and all the people in Texas.
New super chat. You want to read it?
No, I was just going to say one more thing before we do that. What does Jamie Benn's last 10 years look like without Tyler Seguin? Does he win the Art Ross Trophy? Is he the dynamic player that he was? I'm sure he would be some level of that, but I just wonder, their duo was so good.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Nill would have had to do something. He needed to kickstart this franchise. It would have been a completely different story.
Wasn't that really soon after Jim Nill got hired that he made that trade?
It was the first big move he made in the
amazing.
offseason. Yeah.
And it was the last move of Peter Chiarelli's.
So Jeff Carrier writes a super chat, a little Haskin in 99. I'm so stoked you guys chose Bing Bong for super chats. That was my
Bing bong.
suggestion. Let it be known from this day forward, go Stars. Wow.
Any Pixar stuff or cartoons are going right on.
Don't
this
they
show.
not do that anymore at the AAC too? Didn't we realize they don't do that anymore?
We took it from them.
There's something else now.
Yeah,
I
they
think.
have a different.
They have a bunch of new ones.
Yeehaw or
So
something?
yeah.
Bloods
So
your
now
thoughts.
now we're
lost
rolling
again. I'm sorry, I don't know who Bing Bong is. What's
Bing
the
Bong
Bing
the
Bong?
elephant.
Yeah.
Should we do an Inside Out watch along?
I
Owen?
have
Maybe
no
during
idea.
Frozen.
Come on, Luds.
Bing
Four
Bong
Nations
the
weekend.
I'm gonna
Yeah, it was
upset
a
you right now.
It was a political
We have been
cartoon.
so busy. I still
not
haven't
into
watched
politics,
Inside
number
Out
one.
yet.
I don't know what kind of
We're
it
gonna
is.
do it.
You
You
don't
don't
know?
know, but we just haven't gotten
He
there.
doesn't know what it is either.
I'm just pretending.
We just did the thing where there's two
We
separate
had two
conversations
separate
happening.
conversations, which they're all listening to, but we're like
Like
divided.
in this room, it sounds fine, but over the recording, it's going to sound like
It
madness.
just sounds like.
Was I
chaos.
close? That's from a political cartoon
What?
from the war.
Bing Bong?
Bing Bong. Was I close?
No.
Is it political?
Not even close.
Darn.
No,
By the way-
we explained the answer to that question in our separate conversation.
Okay. I'll listen back after the show.
Wolf says hockey wrote in a chat. Stick taps for 11. Talking about Logan Stankoven for his first of the season, and then a wolf emoji.
First of many.
He's been great even without scoring a goal. But what is getting one? I mean, look, he is a guy used to scoring goals. Even if he's playing this well and not scoring, this has to help him.
Yeah, and again, he's learning that it's not as easy scoring in this league as it was in the last league. So he's going to get his share. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a 25, 30 goal scorer, but and he's going to bang most of them in from within 3 feet of that net. You know, I know he's got a good shot and everything, but he's a little bulldog around the front, and he's going to get rewarded for it. I think the guys that are playing with him are getting rewarded for it. For him digging pucks out, creating havoc, going to the front of the net like Sam was talking about earlier. I don't know. He does all the right things for me.
Interesting. Cyber Waste writes in, once Duchesne, Seguin, and Marchment, parentheses, the himbo line, I call them. I don't understand what that means. Once they came together, it's been one of the most potent lines I've seen in a while.
Chemistry. They feed off each other. And you know, some things you don't have to see, you feel it. And I think it's getting to the point where it's almost like people won't remember, but there were 3 Stasnys at one time. The Stastny brothers were playing. And, you know, I'm sure that's like, you know, with the Sedins also, you know, and when there's 3 of them that are on the same page, there was a pass that Marchment made to Duchesne the other night, right, for that goal in the slot there. I mean, it was like he got down to the goal line almost, threw it back through somebody's feet, and just put it right on his tape in traffic. So that's it's as much Duchesne knowing where he's going to put it than it is the other way around.
I mean, Duchesne just played whoever that defender was in that goal. Just toyed with him a little bit. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to pass. I'm going to shoot. And then it ended up making him look kind of like
when Ekholm kind of followed.
Yeah,
him
it was
down
Ekholm.
there. He kind of mesmerized.
Well,
him.
it was like one of those plays that we see where you're like, just make a decision. And Ekholm didn't. He went back and forth, and then all of a sudden he ended up not only not blocking the pass, but not blocking anything.
So I'm laughing because this is why I don't scan the chat during our show all the time, because it's distracting.
Because you're watching
we know
soccer
Luds doesn't
instead.
like distractions. No, I was only doing that for fun. But I'm laughing because Spaghetts wrote a chat saying, so nice of producer John to wear his Halloween costume a week early, which made me laugh. And then our producer responded in the chat, oddly enough, this actually is my Halloween costume.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil it, but I have a Joe Thornton Bruins jersey on, so I was going to get a beard, and my costume was going to be...
You were going to get a what?
I was gonna get a big beard.
Oh, I
Beard.
thought he said beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which,
Sounded
guys,
like you said beer.
there are victory beers in this room. I don't
We
know
know
if
that.
you three care to imbibe.
We know that. What do you think I'm still doing the show for?
He's just waiting.
You
I
could
didn't know
have
if we
gone
had to
up
wait
at
till it
any
was
point.
over or
But
what.
I was going to be Joe Thornton as if he
Next
was
to you?
never traded.
Rugged
for the
Road
Bruins.
Cooler right there.
Where?
Right by it.
It's over here.
Oh.
I'm just trying to see if I missed any really
want
good
one?
ones in the chat.
Yes,
here.
I want one.
Somebody started talking. Oh, here we go. John wrote another one.
You
So,
forgot
John-
he's in his underwear.
He has a chat down here from Nazier. I'm sure I'm butchering his name. How can we get Luds to wear some Mooterous gear?
Some mood. Oh, very simple. Beer.
Well, you got to give it to him first.
Yeah, give it to him.
This guy's dying to have one.
Yeah, you know what? I'd wear that. I
sorry,
don't
Sam.
mind. Hey, I would wear
I
that.
told Luds earlier, Sam, but I actually don't drink
Hey,
beer. So.
I'm talking
Oh, you
over
don't?
here,
Yeah.
producer.
I'm listening.
What am I supposed to do with
what
this?
the hell? Why
I don't
ask me a question and then he?
Luds, do you want two?
Can you cut his mic?
Probably.
We can't.
No, we don't have that power.
I
Did
would
the
wear
Mavs
that.
win? Should I go give this to
Oh,
Bobby?
never mind. Keep talking. Go ahead,
Sorry,
John.
Luds, what do you
Your
got?
show. We're drinking.
do you
What
got?
will it take, as Sam just sat down on my screen, what would it take for you to wear Mooterous gear again?
Give me it. I'll wear it.
I have a jersey.
Do you?
I have
I'll
a
wear
Mar-
it.
I have a
You
Marty
know what?
Turco Mooterous
That's part of the
jersey.
history of the Dallas Stars. I'm good with it. Whatever it is, good, bad.
That
ugly,
was
I don't
was
care.
it the I think it was the Podman Rush podcast with Mike and Razor. They were talking about right before the Hall of Fame stuff with Jim Lights, how when that jersey came out, Jim Lights is such a good salesman, everything like that they knew it was bad.
Yeah.
But they pumped it up so much that fans were for a little bit were like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And then they got rid
exactly.
of it.
Yeah.
as soon as they did their amount of games.
Some people would call him a used car salesman. Razor.
gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. Hey,
Yeah.
no producer here.
Yeah.
Nope.
By the way,
Now it's
no-
running smoothly.
There's no rules.
Spaghetti wrote that the $10 was worth it just for Luds' response. So he liked doing the super chat. Cam writes in, Louis Pasteur is a real person who developed pasteurization. That made me laugh. Anything else? Yeah, the people are
Oh, it's
still.
from Inside Out?
What?
Yes.
Bing Bong?
Yes.
I love that movie.
We explained that on our half.
Ah.
Well, if you love that movie, how do you not know who the
I don't
what is
remember.
Bing Bong?
Bing Bong's an elephant.
Okay, well you had it half.
Imaginary
right.
it's
friend.
the imaginary friend.
He's an imaginary friend.
Ah.
Okay,
See,
well
I
don't
never
tell me.
know
I
when
don't
you're
care.
being, you seriously didn't get that.
No, I
or you're
legitimately didn't
See,
get it.
this is a big test. If we were to watch Inside Out with Luds, we would find out how much of a softy Luds is
Oh, he'd
based
cry.
on a
He would
certain
be-
event that occurs.
he
with
would be
Bing Bong the
bawling.
elephant in
You
Inside
want to
Out.
bet a case of Molson on it?
No.
Huh?
Well, no,
He-
I'm saying we would find out how big of a softy you
I can
are.
already tell you, I don't care about much.
Do you cry during movies, Luds?
Nah,
That doesn't shock me.
Nothing. Not even Casablanca.
I've never seen it.
Me neither.
Not even Good
I
Will
heard
Hunting.
it's sad though.
Not even The Departed.
The
Not even Legally Blonde.
Your boy is wicked smart. What
Not even
what
Spotlight.
are we supposed to be talking about right now?
We were supposed to hit a break like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, perfect.
I was just enjoying the chat. Guys, great
very
chat
fun.
tonight.
Very fun.
Really fun.
So
You're
did
all
we-
over the
We
place.
got 80 people
Because
in
he
here right
kept
now.
talking, we can't read anymore.
80 people talking, and we are what we're doing right now.
Yeah. See, how do we leave him hanging like that?
There's more people joining
Awful.
when okay,
That's
now
bad producing.
now people are leaving. Let's talk about hockey.
Okay, up next on the DLS Dallas Stars post-game show, we have a bunch to get to.
Silence.
Nobody wants to hear me burp up the first sip of Coors Light. It's just churning in there, right? Well, DLS
It's
has
not
a new
pasteurized.
introductory offer for new diehard signups. Go to alldls.com now and join the diehard program for just $4 a month. Get access to all the exclusive content on alldls.com, including Sean and Sam's exclusive interviews and analysis. Get access to the Discord where you can interact with like-minded fans, shoot the breeze with us, and participate in Letty's Damn Discord. Back next Thursday, which, by the way, will be our Halloween costume episode on Halloween.
Oh.
And we like to also remind you that All City National NHL show What Chaos has a new line of merch with Buffalo-based hockey fashion label Dishin. Go to justdishin.com and check out the What Chaos line of shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Luddy already bought his.
He did
What a guy.
the chains.
All right. Speaking of Craig Ludwig, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen, that you have been waiting for the entire postgame show. Here's the Herman Marshall marquee moment of the game. Pick your favorite bottle at your closest goody-goody liquor store.
It would be a no-brainer not to talk about the power play, right?
It would be a no-brainer not to.
Our Herman Marshall marquee moment for sure is the Dallas Stars and what they did on their power play tonight, and what they will continue to do, hopefully, from here on out.
So, for every bottle of single barrel, let's try that again. For every bottle of single
Light beer
barrel
is hitting him,
straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas. For those who went before, stop into your closest goody-goody liquor store to find your favorite bottle. Yeah, it would be ridiculous for us not to spend more time on the power play, whether it's the Herman Marshall moment or just in general, because we have been close to the point of berating this team for its inefficiency on the power play. We said after a couple of games, it doesn't look very good. Pete said, give them 10 games. Then after the 5th game, he said, it has to be better. They've run out of their leash or their runway that they had. Well, now it's after 8 games, and all of a sudden, maybe the grumbling goes a little quieter.
Well, I think you have to thank the scheduling too, because, you know, when you looked at this, I was looking at it in the morning and I thought, you know, they do this, they do that. They seem like a frustrated group a little bit. Their players do, you know, and when you have guys like Brad Marchand on your team and he runs a little hot at times and, you know, he cares about that logo and he cares about winning. But then sometimes, you know, you always talk, get up to the line, but don't cross it. And, you know, I just felt like they were getting, you know, they were nibbling. I think the way that Pete kind of made some comments that it resonated with the players. We got to get our act together. It just seemed like it was the right time. And, you know, they did their job tonight.
Anything to add on the power play, Mr. Writer Extraordinaire?
We've talked about the power play like 100 times. They look good.
But they deserved it. It was
Yeah,
our
they look
Marshall
great.
Marshall
They
Marquee
look great.
moment of the match.
Like I said, I think puck movement, they look confident, and they won the battles. I think winning the battles is going to be the key for that power play all season.
All right. I want to give Craig Ludwig some love. In this case, we're
Live
gonna,
on the show.
not that kind of
He
love.
said Miller Lite.
Well, next time. Well, we'll get you. Honestly, missed the Molson too. That was pretty darn good when Razor was
Radigan
here,
sent
right?
me that text today, that's exactly what I thought I was going to see. The bottles of Molson, but this is good.
It's cold. It's good.
It was cold. It's gone now.
Does the name Ludstradamus roll off the tongue for you, Sam?
Yes.
Well,
But why?
he earned it today because our very own Craig Ludwig sent this text message to us, our group chat this morning. It says, bold prediction, Stars power play gets on track. Bruins recipe for success. The Bees, Monty, for example, for team frustrations. They have, look at all that. The second in the league in penalty minutes, the first in penalties taken. 4 players in the top 20, including their core guys, McAvoy, Pasternak, and Marchand. And, of course, Zadorov, who is a walking penalty artist. And so Luddy said that at 10:14 a.m. You can see the timestamp on the screen grab. Fast forward to tonight, 3 power play goals later. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
You know what? Blind squirrel finds an acorn every once in a while.
You know what's funny, too, about Lud?
This is another one of those Luds. What did I tell you?
I don't understand a single thing Lud sends when he texts us,
downplayed it,
though.
We
He
need that
downplayed it.
shirt. It needs to say, what did I tell you? And then a little hyphen and then Luds.
We need a translator, too, on some of Lud's
You
texts.
just house that?
Yeah, he did.
That was the victory smash of the empty beer into the empty
I was
cup.
saving the last sip.
The
for
empty
10
beer
minutes.
into the empty cocktail cup.
Anyway,
No, I mean, it's you have one of the best power plays in the league, and you have a team that seems to be taking penalties, and you know, it's the law of averages, I guess. It's coming down the road, and I expect it to continue now on Saturday
against a Blackhawks team that you should beat. We'll talk about them in just a second, but we had a Twitter poll that we posted. Is the power play fixed? Go to at DLS_stars and vote because you have, let's see, 10 minutes left
What's
now.
that 1.1% you think?
That's got to be done.
Well, you know, we're still waiting for the mail-in votes to come in. So
The question is the power play fixed or do the Bruins just stink? The vast majority said both.
illegal
fixed
votes.
and Bruins stink.
I
Good
s-
answer.
I said fixed.
1.1% said neither go Bruins.
I want to know what's 1.1% of 91. Is it one person?
1% of 91.
I don't think it is.
Well,
I don't think we
1%
need
of
to-
100
Guys,
is
we need
one
to
out of
move on.
100,
We're running
right?
late, okay? We don't need to talk about the fourth option and how many people voted for it on
I
this
think you
poll.
got a little upset because of the result tonight. All right.
Called
No,
out.
I'm just producer hat. Sorry, we're running
You
long.
changed it on us. We were having so much fun. All right.
Rangers needs the studio after us.
Rangers tonight. Well, you should have said anybody else. Off season, but all right. Man of the match. Buds, who's your best Dallas star tonight?
Oh, you know, I'm gonna keep doing this stuff. I'm Logan Stankoven. I'm sorry. I like the line as a whole, like the Duchesne line, but I just think he's I don't know. Right now, he's kind of the the straw that stirs the drink a little bit for me. You know, I just think things happen. He sets the pace of the game for the group, and it's like, here I am, and they follow me, and he goes to the right areas of the ice. So, I'm, you know, most nights I'm gonna lead with him, but I just see so many good things happening when he's on the ice. So I'll
Only
take him.
scored one goal tonight. I say only in quotations because he was great. But how many times? I think at least 3 or 4. He dished a really nice pass to somebody where if they scored, then he gets another assist. He was creating chances throughout the game.
Honestly, I didn't even think that he had scored a goal, like to name him that. That's not where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's a different thing I see from him. You know, again, I just think he's got a motor that doesn't seem to stop, and he's going to have an off night sooner or later. I don't know when it is, and I don't even know if we're going to recognize what an off night is for him.
Sam?
I want to cheat, which is what I usually do.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I'm not going to this time, but I'm going to go with Tyler Seguin. 3 points tonight.
It's not cheating.
No, my cheating answer was different. Looked great. I just think that if they can get the other lines consistently going, that line is just going to go. It feels like that line is just never going to slow down. They didn't slow down. The only reason they did last year was because Seguin missed time with injury. They looked great all preseason. They were pretty much the only line going in some of those games, especially when there wasn't a ton of NHL players. They were going last year. They were going in the preseason. They're going right now. 3 points for Seguin and Duchesne. I think that they have the chance to be one of the best lines in hockey all season.
I agree with what you just said, and I do think that when you said the only reason that they slowed down is when Tyler got hurt. If Tyler's healthy and Duchesne's healthy and Marchment misses, they're going to slow down. I just think they're the sum of their parts.
For sure.
They are.
I think they're just in that much in sync. That's a band, by the way, too. They're in sync with each other that they just know how to sing during games.
So
See how I
That
kind
was
of did
really
all that?
good. That was really
thank you.
good.
First rim shot of the show. Now
What?
that we have a new sound. The rim shot. Not what you think it is.
Just let
Keep your
that
head-
one
keep
let
your
that
head
one
above the-
lay there.
Play it one more time, Johnny, just for good measure. Every time Letty's got a great joke line, we gotta.
didn't know
Just Luds.
That's a rim shot?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah, okay.
the drums.
Didn't know that
It
either.
does
What did you
sound a
think
little
a rim
bit
shot was?
inappropriate, but
Why do you want to do
Do you
that?
hit the edge of the drum? Is that why it's called that?
usually you hit the drum.
It's the snare and the.
Yeah, and then cymbal.
Interesting.
Oh, you know it's a snare?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Vinny's snare in my house.
You should go on his old Twitter page, go back or Instagram or whatever. Kid's got some guitar on the and
Do ya?
singing. Oh
you
yeah,
play?
I was a songwriter for 4 years, lived in Nashville and everything.
How'd that work out?
he's
I'm
here.
I'm here.
How's this working out? You're still here.
I'm here.
So
That's horrible.
look, the easy answer would be Matt Duchesne. He scored the first goal when they needed it. He had a really nice primary assist to set up. What was it? The Stankoven goal. He had another assist, but I almost want to give an honorable mention to Casey DeSmith. He didn't have a bunch of 10 bell saves, but he made all the ones he had to.
Yeah.
He was solid. He didn't give up anywhere you'd say would have really ruined momentum. And what do you need for your backup goalie? He's won 2 of 3 and kept him in every game. That's what you need from your backup goalie. So I thought I would still pick Duchesne as my man of the match, but I have to say Casey DeSmith. That's 3 starts and 3 quality efforts for me.
Back to the Mooterus
Yeah,
jersey.
that's a great non
Luds
sequitur.
hates when we just talk about random things, but you know what?
Back to the Mooterus. If you put a number 11 on it, I'm in.
Oh, you should get one of
Oh,
those
you want a
customized.
Stan-
I
Coven
thought
Mooterus.
somebody's giving me one.
Ask the
So if-
team.
hear about this.
Customize that.
Can
John,
they still? Can
so-
they still make
No, look,
those?
this is the chat from earlier.
Oh.
John, how do you get Luds to wear some Mooterus? Get him
Number
a
11.
Logan Stankoven Mooterus jersey, and Luddy will wear it.
Oh yeah.
Make sure it's the right size, though. What's your jersey size? You a 58?
56 goalie jersey.
You like the 56 goalie cut?
Yeah, I do.
You like that
56
extra? Yeah.
goalie
Yeah.
cut.
Wow.
I think it's a goal. I don't know what they call it.
Cyberwaste
like
Ardell, I
10
will not
sizes
stand
above.
for motorist slander.
I get it made by Omar the tent maker. That's where we get them made.
I just get them made by the guy who makes the middle school
At
jerseys
Great,
in my
great
local
shout
town.
out, Jimmy T.
We just blew by it.
Jimmy T, the worst thing that happened to the Stars franchise, the unveiling of the motorist. The best thing, discontinuing the motorist.
We got to be honest though, like once it was realized, it was hilarious and it was fun, right?
It was horrible, but it is, as Luddy says, it's part of the history
yeah.
of the club.
I agree with John.
Yeah, and I bought that
It's
jersey.
part of the history of this
It is.
organization.
I bought that
man.
jersey, and I definitely did not know that when I bought it. I still wore it. Marty Turco.
Marty.
Turco.
Marty.
Turco.
See, it's fun to use the Boston accent, isn't it?
Marty.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So,
Marty,
hey,
Marty.
let's wrap this up by talking about the Chicago Blackhawks. The Stars will play them on Saturday night. We will do our pregame show from here at 6:15, I believe, 7 o'clock puck drop.
Yep.
Thank you, John. And they are, we got the bell.
Wow.
2-4-1 in their first 7 games. That's a point percentage of .357, which does not sound good.
On pace from last season.
They have 5 points in 7 games. They've lost their last 2. And if we take a quick look at their schedule, that means they lost to, look at that, the Vancouver Canucks at home.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Buffalo Sabres before that. They did beat the San Jose Sharks at home.
Vancouver put up like 6 or 7 on them, didn't they?
6-3 Vancouver on Tuesday. They, this is unfair, host the Nashville Predators on Friday, which means the Stars, with a day off tomorrow, the Stars do not have a practice schedule tomorrow, fly back and will be waiting for a tired Blackhawks team. Do I smell trap game?
I want to say this.
Don't say it.
I want to
You
say this.
said it.
I don't want to
Do
say
I,
trap.
I mean, how do you avoid that? Because everybody knows
I know.
you come off a big road win.
Come
But here-
home, get a little comfortable.
And the
know?
Blackhawks are like the Sharks have given the Stars some games. And I remember going to whatever it was last year or 2 years ago when
Connor Bedard
when
is a heck of a young player.
Domi and
Is Taze in the lineup?
Domi and Kane, right? I think Kane
No,
was
not
still on the
anymore.
Blackhawks.
Well, what about Jason Dickinson? He always plays well against the Stars.
Dickinson, they
His old
got
team.
Foligno and Bedard have been going a little bit. Like
We're going to see
do
some
not
different guys
overlook
because
this
they
team.
added some vets. They're better than they were. They're still not good, but
Yeah, they added like the ghosts of Boston Bruins past. It's all Tyler Bertuzzi, Fliggy, Pat Maroon.
Fliggy?
Fliggy?
Foligno.
Nick Foligno.
Oh, Foligno. I thought
Ryan
is he
Donato.
he's a buddy of yours? Fliggy?
Fliggy, yeah.
Okay, Fliggy.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I didn't know. Okay.
Fliggy a booger.
he's wiki smart.
Wait, time out real quick. What was the best nickname someone you played with?
Oh, you got to give me more time than
Yeah.
Wait till Saturday because he probably has
Best
so many
nickname.
better ones than nowadays where
It
they're
feels
not as
like-
clever.
Back in the day, the nicknames were better
Yeah.
than they are now. Although Arbor Jackeye, Wi-Fi, great
Yeah,
nickname.
amazing.
I love that one.
There's some really good ones still, but
You
some
know,
more
I'm
creativity
watching
back
the
in the day.
Amazon series. I'm almost done with it. I was watching it this morning.
Might
Connor
have to
McDavid,
come
they
up with a
call
little
Davo.
character. I'm already thinking
That's
of
it?
one.
That's it.
Got a little character. I don't know if it speaks or anything like that. I'm thinking of Big Bird. You guys know who Big Bird is?
It's from that
We know who
political
Big Bird
cartoon.
is.
No, I'm not the
Big Bird's no Bing Bong, but
not the character clown. Do you know whose nickname was Big Bird?
I can't remember who's Big Bird. now.
Anybody want to super chat in right now, or
Anybody
whatever you
know-
call it, or chat in, or
Does anybody know whose nickname was Big Bird?
Whose nickname
Probably
was
in
Big
Luddy's
Bird?
day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for sure. Back in the day. Back,
You don't have anybody. Oh, our GM.
that's not fair.
Our GM, who's a huge Stars fan.
He's
Put it up.
He doesn't know the
We got
answer.
to put it up. He was the first guy to respond.
is this correct?
I don't
think
know.
so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
His
I
Here's a
guess.
guess.
different
seen it
answer
yet,
on Google.
Producer.
Here's
see.
his
Let's see.
guess. Mark Finch.
Who the hell's Mark Finn?
I have no idea.
I'm guessing that's not the answer.
I don't even know who that
I
is. Do you
have
play
an
baseball?
answer from Google Luds, but I feel like we should put this
I
out.
think
to
Mark Finch
Discord
is a
and have
pitcher.
them-
It says Finch.
Yeah, what's he talking about? Are
Or
we
maybe
talking
he was
hockey?
big- I thought we were talking hockey here on the Stars
Is that
show.
who's that
I
again?
think
That was
he's an
Ben.
Ben needs to
baseball-
go to bed. Go get some seep.
Yeah, he said it's for baseball.
All right, so nobody knows.
Did you Google it over there? John?
I did. I found a player who played for the Montreal Canadiens.
That
There you
sounds
go.
right. Who is it?
There you go. That's
We
cheating.
don't have
but-
an answer,
that's
so
Well, I'm not going to say it on the show.
But
we
it
want
is.
people
Well, they're going to
know.
go home and Google it now too. What the hell's the
You want me to
difference?
Google
For
it
the
right now?
audience. It's for the audience, Luds. It's
I'm
more
not
than
gonna
just
Google
us
it.
in this
They're already
room.
they're light years
No,
ahead. of
they're
you. Somebody's
already
going to pop
signing
it
off.
up
I don't have Google.
What?
after this last bit for the last 50 minutes. There's nobody on the air.
Best
Nobody
nickname
listening.
in sports, by the way, is former Vikings defensive lineman Tom Johnson. Nickname was Sebastian Thunderbucket.
Yeah, as it would be, right? Hey, very randomly.
Oh,
You know
I
it?
should have known this.
Yes.
It's
I wouldn't
Luddy's
have gotten that.
Hall of Fame D partner,
Yeah.
Larry Robinson.
Yeah, Big Bird.
Big Bird, 6'4", big guy.
Yeah. And he could throw him. Yeah. Like one of the best. I tell you what, a coach, human being first. Incredible. Like, yeah, I could tell you a bunch of stories, but
We'll have to do a Ludscapades. All right. I think that's a good way to wrap it up tonight as we enjoy literally a 5-2 Bruins win over, or sorry.
I wish it was a Bruins win.
Let's try it again. Stars win over the Bruins.
Nope, Bruins win. End the show. See you
that
later.
should be clipped
That-
for sure.
that's a penalty jar. Do we have a jar
No,
where we
that's
got to
not a
throw
sin.
like
You
a
should
hundo in?
No,
I don't think
Yeah,
so. You
that's
could
a
combine
hundo
that.
in the pot.
Combine
but
that.
that's definitely on
Owen only
previously.
wants
I'll
other
give you that.
people
All
be
the money
sin
he's
bin.
making, a hundo in the pot for that.
John,
Hundos.
just a tip, John. He also said that they were playing the Sabres
Oh, that's
I know,
two
I know.
hundos.
on our show yesterday. So
And he made me play the Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen drop.
It's that Kurz. It's that Kurz lat right now.
All right. You know what we should do? We should say goodnight, and we should finish with our favorite Finn. So for Craig
Gotta
Ludwig,
drive you
Sam
home.
Nessler, and John Anderson, I'm Owen Newkirk. Stars 5, Bruins 2. Our favorite Sabres goalie says goodnight.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
We all silly like the mayor.